This is the Bat Pod.
Grab your bat microphone, it's time to start the show. Like a court of owls, the mystery is starting to grow. Let there be no debate, it's about to begin. Keen like Bruce Wayne, quick like Tim Drake, fierce like Damien. Grab your headphones, listen up, you know you love it, drop the facade. Like the Dark Knight Detective, they've got some perspective, they're a pure crime-fighting collective. It's the Bat Pod.
Welcome to this edition of the Bat Pod New Comic Book Day Special. My name is Bill Bere, and tonight we're going to be talking about Deadpool Batman, the first Marvel DC crossover that we've had in some time, since the early 2000s when we had JLA Avengers. Now, talking about this book and picking this up at the comic shop, this was only available at the comic shop. It was not available on your Comixology through Amazon. At least day and date, it was not. So, and there was a little bit of confusion because there's two different issues of Deadpool Batman. One's called Deadpool Batman, and one's called Batman Deadpool. This was the Marvel version that came out this past Wednesday, September 17th. So we are getting a DC version of Batman Deadpool. If you'd like to join the conversation or emails the podcast at thebatpod.com, we are on Blue Sky, X, and Facebook. Just search the Bat Pod podcast. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, please consider giving us a review. We'd really appreciate it.
The Bat Pod is a spoiler podcast. Please read the comics we're reviewing so you can enjoy the show.
So our book tonight is Deadpool Batman. Number 1. Your writer is Zeb Wells. Penciler, Greg Capullo. Inker, Tim Townsend. And colorist, Alex Sinclair. And we get a cover here. There's many covers. The issue that I got was the main cover with Deadpool and Batman diving out a bunch of smoke or fog. And Deadpool has a bunch of batarangs in his chest and in his eye. But awesome cover. It's a Greg Capullo cover. It's good to see him back. If you're unfamiliar with Greg Capullo, he was around for the Batman run in the New 52. So in this issue, Bruce Wayne discovers that the Joker is stockpiling Joker venom for a massive attack, only for Deadpool to crash into Gotham, secretly hired to take down Batman. After a brief team-up gone wrong, Batman learns Joker used Clarion's the Witch Boy's magic to pull Deadpool from another universe. In the end, Batman turns the two madmen against each other. So we get this issue, Deadpool Batman. It's Marvel's version. So this is our first Marvel book that I'm going to be talking about on the Bat Pod. And probably the last, but, you never know. So as we jump into this book, we have Bruce Wayne, he's sitting in Wayne Manor. It gives me memories of a hurt Bruce Wayne as Batman, and a bat comes crashing through the window. In this window, it's Deadpool. Now, this is the Deadpool right out of the Deadpool movies, because I'm not familiar with Deadpool comics at all. I'm sure this is how Deadpool acts in the comics, but I'm not 100% sure, because the last time I read Deadpool was probably in X-Force, early 90s, X-Force, late 80s, so I don't really have a memory of how he is today or anything like that. But he crashes through this window, and it's a lot of dialogue for Deadpool, and very jokey Deadpool, as he is from the movies. But what I liked here is he comes in and he makes all these jokes and he has a lot of dialogue. Bruce is like super serious the whole time. He's like, I'm only going to ask this once. Who are you? And he basically crashes through his window because he's a billionaire and he thought billionaires might have a business associate that needs silence or something like that. And Bruce, of course, says, I'm not that kind of billionaire. Deadpool goes on to say that he was hired to catch Batman. And Bruce is like, you may find that difficult. Batman is at home in the shadows. No one finds him unless he wants to be found. So, of course, a bat signal shines in the sky through the broken window that Deadpool comes in through. And he's like, you don't say, is that some kind of, I don't know, bat call or something? And Bruce is, of course not. It's a bat signal. And then Deadpool finds this very funny as he leaves. So we jump to Commissioner Gordon at the bat signal. And he doesn't ever say it's Commissioner Gordon because in current continuity, he's just a cop. This is totally out of continuity. And Jim is waiting for Bruce to show up. And Deadpool climbs over the wall. And I do like the conversation we have here between Deadpool and Commissioner Gordon. Because Deadpool goes, you don't need to tell me you're a cop, old-timer. Let me guess. Grizzled, played by your own rules, still sneak a smoke between the panels. And Gordon gives it right back to him. He says, let me guess. Maladjusted, tedious grip on reality, no moral compass. I've worked in Gotham long enough to know a lunatic when I see one. And that's when Batman shows up. And it's a great full-page panel. Batman just runs into him, gives him an elbow right to the chops, and says, welcome to Gotham. In Deadpool's reaction here, he goes, holy crap, Batman, you're terrifying. I hate myself for saying this, but the bat thing, it works. And Batman just mutters back, I know. And they have this little fight here, which is pretty good. I do have to say it's pretty good because Deadpool tries a little bit of karate at Batman. Batman gives it right back, and Deadpool's like, too bad I brought toys. And then Batman replies, so did I. And then you see batarangs in his arm, smoke pellets, and these little ball things with ropes around them that Batman tosses when Deadpool gets his guns out. And they kind of go back and forth. He says, okay, you're right. We're too evenly matched. And Batman said, I never said that. And then he decides to drop his guns as he's tied up. And he says, I can't bring myself to murder you, Batman. And he just points out, at no point was I in danger of being murdered. So then Gordon jumps in and said, this idiot has wasted enough of her time. The Joker has sent a message. He's giving us 6 hours to find him before he releases 30 tons of Joker venom. And Batman's on it because he had said, and we saw at the beginning of the book, he says every chemical he's stolen across Gotham is enough to make his serum. And they break out a map to see where all these places that the Joker could be hiding out. And Deadpool looks over Batman's shoulder and he's like, I can help you. I can help you catch this madman. So Bruce gives in to letting Deadpool help him. Him and Deadpool go after the Joker. We get a glimpse of a Batmobile here. Now, I'm going to say this is not my favorite version of the Batmobile. I'm not familiar with where this might be the first time this version has popped up, but not my favorite. It almost looks like a futuristic car, very kind of shiny, like metallic looking. The windshield, there's 2 holes where you can look out the windshield. It's not my favorite. Let's just put it that way. And even when we get a glimpse inside, Deadpool's like, yeah, seriously, there's not a lot of room. This thing was not built for 2. And then Batman, of course, mentions that he says, I work alone unless I have a Robin. And Deadpool goes into this boy wonder thing and fighting crime with a young boy. You already heard every joke I could make about that. And then it just shows a panel of Batman straight-faced. And they go back and forth, and Deadpool, of course, is double-crossing him because he was hired by the Joker to bring Batman in. So he releases this smoke bomb and takes Batman out. Not till Batman gives him a crack to the window, the side window, with his head. And then you hear Deadpool say something about he can't drive a stick. I guess the biggest thing about this is it's a very jokey book, but on the Batman side of things, he's very serious. This is played in two different ways because we have Deadpool meshing itself with a Batman book, and the Batman side of it is played very spot on. I can see that totally. For what this is, so far, I was surprised that I enjoyed it because usually, Batman, it's not a bunch of jokes and everything. He does even crack a smile in here that I liked at one point. So Batman wakes up. He's tied up in Joker's little underground vault where he's made this Joker venom. And Joker's trying to give a speech. Deadpool keeps interrupting. He tells him to shut up. And Batman kind of goes at Joker here. He's like handling your vendetta to a subcontractor. And Joker, who's pretty smug, he'd been relying on a crew of goons, and all he needed was an accountability buddy, a peer to keep his executive dysfunctions at bay. And he's like, where did you find this accountability buddy? And he goes into declaring the witch boy hooked him up with one of his spells, mirror, mirror, hear my plea sort of thing. Unfortunately, his match was in another universe. Even says he had to hop on the cosmic treadmill. He wore himself ragged before he broke down and called the reverse flash sort of thing. In this, we're Batman fighting the Joker without having any physicality to the fight, because he goes, I have to hand it to you, Joker. It's brilliant you found somebody crazier than you. And Joker's like, I wouldn't say crazier. He said, I would. You spent lifetime trying to drive me insane. That clown did in an hour. And Joker's like, do not call him the clown. Only clown here. You're right, he's something more terrifying, unhinged, more self-aware, and perfect opponent. A villain worthy of the Bat. A villain worthy of my obsession. And Joker then says, hey, wait, can I grab you for a second? He said, this really is kind of awkward, but it's not working out. It's just supposed to be me and him, you understand? And Deadpool kind of does a double take here, and he says, actually, I've been thinking, is it me, or is he kind of special, like a once-in-generation special? Are you sure you want to kill him? And Deadpool goes on, I says, really, I'm getting obsessed with him. I could see us playing an extended game of cat-mouse and span decades, slowly evolved into a de facto relationship neither of us knows how to end, because against the odds becomes the most important relationship in his life. Wait, and then Deadpool says, we could both be his nemesis. I can be the younger, funnier one he truly fears, and you can be the one who laughs at his jokes. And Joker's like, what a fantastic plan. As his voice kind of changes with this weird-looking smile, he said, let's shake on it. And he gives him a shot of Joker venom. It's hard to give a shot to a guy that has healing factor. And you can tell his face has got all Joker eyes, but he's not dying or anything like that. So Batman gets free. He goes after the Joker. The Joker explains there's only one way to stop, the Joker venom going into Gotham. It's a switch in this carousel center. You press it, and the venom will detonate harmlessly while killing anybody dumb enough to play hero. He says, do you understand? Whether the fire of heroism or the shame of cowardice, Batman dies tonight. The Joker sitting there laughing. What'll be, Batman? It's my final joke. You pick the punchline. So then Deadpool enters the scene, and he's like, I got this one, partner. He goes and hits the button. The bomb goes off, and the Joker's just stunned. And he starts to talk, and Batman has him tied up with a piece of tape over his mouth. And Deadpool's like, room for one more? And Batman just mentions, you put a dent in the Batmobile. I take it you can't drive stick. He tells Deadpool that he's going home, and he still's got that stupid smile on his face. Deadpool mentions that's what masks are for. And Deadpool's like, wait, you're going to leave me out here after all we've been through? You said you were obsessed with me. Batman says, I said what I needed to say. I knew you were playing me the second you offered to help with the case. Letting you capture me was the quickest way to find the Joker. At the end of the day, you did save Gotham City, so I'm going to let you go home. Don't let me catch you around here again. As Batman screeches off with the Joker, and Deadpool's like, I love you too. And then he thinks about it and says, no harm, taking a peek around the city as this issue ends. So after this announcement of this book coming out, and I tell you, I wasn't looking at solicitations that closely, so I didn't realize there was a Deadpool Batman and then another one coming from DC, which is Batman Deadpool. I didn't realize there were two different ones. So I actually kind of enjoyed this for what it was. A non-continuity crossover with a Marvel character. Do I think that they could have done a different character? Yeah, I think they could have. But for what this was, I enjoyed, the back and forth, because you have sort of two ends of the spectrum here. You have Batman that is super serious majority of the time about his mission, about everything. And then this Deadpool character who is not really a vigilante. He's an assassin, but you see him play nice with the good guys sometimes. I'm not super familiar with his comic book history, so I'm not going to say that I know all that. But from this issue here, I enjoyed what they were going for. One of my favorite scenes in this book was, Commissioner Gordon standing there when Deadpool shows up and the interaction with him and Batman. And I like the fight between Deadpool and Batman. It was one-sided. It wasn't like, even on Marvel's side, they were like, okay, Deadpool versus Batman. How would that go? Batman all the way. There wasn't a chance. Deadpool never stood a chance. And I love seeing that there. All he did was give him a karate kick here, throw some batarangs, some smoke bombs, and that sort of thing. And Deadpool had given up. And in the final scene, he's all tied up, but he uses his words against the Joker. The Joker wants this arch nemesis love affair. It's him and Batman. And Batman uses that love, if you want to say that, the Joker has for him, and say, there's a new guy in town. Says, me and him are going to be arch nemesis. Him and I are going to be the new versus couple, or whatever you want to say. And Joker didn't take a liking to that, and eventually it kind of did him in. So I thought this was very enjoyable for what it was. I would say at least check this out. There are some other crossovers in this book. It's Captain America, Wonder Woman, Daredevil, Green Arrow. There's a Rocket Raccoon, Green Lantern. A new character that's Lobo and Wolverine, and then an Old Man Logan and Batman Dark Knight Returns. But I was going to touch on the Batman Dark Knight Returns, but it's only 3 pages, and there was not much to it. I mean, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything worth talking about, really. Basically, was no plot. But I'm actually looking forward to the Batman and Deadpool one. It would seem if they were doing a crossover, that maybe they would do like 2 different characters. And of course, Greg Capullo's artwork, it just brought me all back to his Scott Snyder run with Court of Owls and that sort of thing. Death of the Family. Joker was a big part of that run, so it was kind of cool to see him draw this. So the artwork is superb. I'd say check it out. So that was our new Comic Book Day special of Deadpool Batman. So next time we're going to be doing Detective Comics 1101, which is a new arc that's called The Courage That Kills with Tom Taylor and Mikhail Yanin. So until next time, same bat time, same bat channel. We will see you later.